We are back with week 13 of the Pick 'em Power Hour. We're coming off a Thanksgiving slate and a Sunday slate, which was interesting, and we just cooked, coming off a winner on the show. But it's time for week 13, starting off with a Thursday night football game that has some implications on the NFC situation. We're trying to find some winners. Let's get cute on today's card. This is the Player Profiler Pick 'em Power Hour, starting now. Welcome back to the Player Profiler Pick 'em Power Hour. We are streaming live on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Ahaan Rungta, joined by Trevor Tipton, as usual. If you are listening as a podcast, make sure you come over to the streams Wednesdays and Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Fridays will be the bonus shows, which will be only on stream. Trevor, we're coming off a good week for both of us monetarily. I know you did the meet and picked out one of your few losers for the show, but we still had a pretty good week, and it started with going 12-3 on the underdog pick generator. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great week overall. I mean, I crushed betting. It was unreal. And the one spot we got let down was Adam Thielen. And of course, that was for me, that was like a floor almost. Like that felt very floory. I'm just done with Carolina for the rest of the season unless it's an under. I just can't I can't even trust Bryce to get him the ball now. And what was the nuts matchup for there. So that's okay. It is what it is. We are where we are. We saw a fun Buffalo Eagles game. I can't believe that field goal got made. In the rain, in the weather, pushing it. We just overall though, right? Last week we saw some. We kind of seeing guys that we know who they are. We know who's getting volume now, and that's really what we're trying to target. Is we're trying to target volume. Whether they're not getting it or they're getting it, and those are I think the spots to attack.
Yeah, and for my side, I did what you were doing at the beginning of the season, right? I mean, picked a bunch of winners and actually picked out two of the ones that weren't cake.
Look at all those green checks. All I have to do is just pick one other one.
Exactly.
I have a million green checks on there.
Josh Jacobs hit in the first half, so easy against the Chiefs, and it brings me to my next point, which is, I think we need to build a Mount Rushmore of frauds in the NFL, right? You can listen to the top 10 takeaways by the Podfather if you want an extensive show on takeaways. But I think we brought up before. I've certainly pushed the agenda that the Chiefs are frauds. That game against the Raiders, a great example of what they can be capable of. It sometimes takes them a while to get going offensively, which is ridiculous to think of considering they have Mahomes and Kelsey. I feel like they've built the worst possible roster around them, which I've said before, but also defensively, they have some weaknesses. So we need to build a Mount Rushmore of frauds. And for me, the Chiefs and the Lions have to be there right now because the Lions, people are starting to catch up that their defense isn't as good as it started out. And we saw that on Thanksgiving Day. Shout out my boy, Christian Watson, for that.
Yeah. On that side, I couldn't agree more. The Lions are there for me. And the other side is, unfortunately, it's Miami. Great offense, no defense. You got to have it there. Houston tried again. I mean, CJ's just literally trying to drag him down the field and will him to win. Right? Bounce it. He doinks it off the crossbar. But they're fun to watch. They still have, picks this year, unlike Carolina. And so that'll be interesting, right? At this point, who wants a Carolina job? He's burning through coaches. You're going to have to give me a fat guaranteed contract. So when you fire me, I'm still getting paid. Because what are you going to do? You're stuck with Bryce Young and you have no draft capital.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like the entire Carolina area right now is going through some tough times because the Hornets, probably one of the worst organizations in the NBA, and the Panthers, they're just a laughingstock right now. And
Charlotte just lost one of their best players.
Yep, that too. So,
Yep.
yeah, not great for Charlotte, but great for us because we can
Yep.
kept the winning going with this Trey
Yep.
McBride and James Cook. James Cook had two 11-yard carries in the fourth quarter. The game went to overtime.
Yep.
This was probably our sweatiest winner of the season, just no doubt. Both were sweats. Trey McBride went over on the penultimate drive in a blowout game. Shout out to Arizona for keeping their starters on the field. That would have been brutal if he missed. And then James Cook, still not good enough, buddy. So
Yep.
that's where we are now, but we're headed into week 13. And we actually have a decent looking game. I mean, the spread is 9.5 points in most places. The Vegas total is relatively high, but it's mostly the Cowboys carrying that total. If you look in the books, actually, the Cowboys to score 3+ touchdowns is juiced to like minus 200, which is insane. But that's who the Cowboys are. Dak Prescott, whether you like it or not, whether you like the Cowboys or not, Dak Prescott's an MVP candidate. And that's just the situation we have here in Dallas. But potentially interesting game. Seattle versus Dallas. I think many people will pick Dallas to win, but we're going to talk a little bit about these matchups and talk about how we can attack the pick'em board. And if you heard the preview, we're getting a little cute today.
Yep.
I like our card. Shout out to Jesse in the chat who joined actually a little bit early. You can join on stream, Facebook, and Twitter as well. We're about to talk some Week 13, but before that, it's your word from the podfather.
All right, I want to take a moment today to talk to you about data analysis. The data analysis tool, we listen to the users. What do you want? What do you need? And we made it happen. We added popular reports like a fantasy scoring report, air yards report. And if you want to create a new report, but you don't necessarily want to look through every field, we have quick results. Hey, show me the most popular passing data. Show me the most popular rushing data, fantasy data. Done. And the thing just is much faster than it's ever been. And the report builder got a lot easier. I mean, check this out. We break it down into offense, defense. Show me just fantasy data elements. And then when you get results, hey, show me by draft year. Let's take a look at just certain players that played a certain number of snaps or a certain number of games last year. This is the tool that so many of you have been asking for, plus a bunch of dream features that Billy wanted and Cody wanted and I wanted and Dario wanted. So go to the fantasy tools section, click on data analysis, or go to playerprofiler.com/data-analysis.
We're back on the Player Profiler Pick 'em Power Hour, where we're about to talk about Seahawks versus Cowboys, Week 13, to start off the Week 13 slate on Thursday Night Football. We have the Cowboys, who are coming off one of the hottest stretches any NFL I've seen from any NFL offense in a while, outside of maybe a Patrick Mahomes offense. But the Cowboys are scoring on everybody. As someone who was on the Commanders to cover last week, that was a brutal watch. It seemed like they were competitive for a half, but that's just every Cowboys game. They go off in the second half, and Josh Dobbs, still the last quarterback as a big underdog against the Cowboys to come away with a win. And I feel like that was the last time the Cowboys offense actually disappointed, barring the 49ers. But I don't consider that a disappointment. I was expecting the 49ers to dominate. So, but we're here now. The Seahawks have a weird spot here. Geno Smith, you saw this, Trevor, last week, a little bit hurt and was never really stood a chance to perform well against the 49ers. Cowboys, another brutal draw. Sounds like we're gonna start with the Seahawks. Let's talk about this offense. How are we attacking it, Trevor?
Yeah, this is an interesting spot. It's right, like we get the cool thing about the NFC is we get to find out now the next 2 weeks who's for real, right? We get the Niners play the Eagles and then Dallas plays the Eagles. So, and with that being said, this game spot really, really matters for Seattle. If they want any shot at the playoffs, making it in as a wild card, this is their spot. That being said, we saw what the Niners front did to that offensive line in Geno, and I think Dallas does the same. So if I was targeting a 5 play, I'm definitely going unders here. But we're just going to go with something simple, clean, and we're going to go. Oh yeah, well, they got some of the kicker prop or defense props up, but we're going to Jason Myers. So Jason Myers has only not hit 6 points in a game once this season. It was against Baltimore. That was a really ugly game. But even in their other games, now I get Dallas is not the Jets, right? I understand, right? Like they don't give up tons of points, but all we're looking for is 7 points here out of them. And this is a spot that I think they're going to have to kick field goals to score. And if Dallas is blowing them out, they will have the opportunity to, in the second half, be able to get some garbage points up. But they're going to be in a negative game script. They're going to be having to throw. And Gino isn't 100%. They haven't been looking. But if you can give me a guy that continues to hit this line over and over and over, like I said, he's only missed 6 points once this season, and he's only had 6 points twice. Other than that, he's scored more. So in a situation where could Dallas win 50-10? Yep. Could this be a ugly Thursday night game that's 2017? Yes. This is a spot, I think it's a great spot to target kickers, especially one of the most accurate kickers in the game, right? We go back to last year with Jason Myers as well. He only missed this line 3 times after week 2 last year. Continue, and this is a guy that could have 9, 10, 13, 15-point kicking weeks. And I think this is a spot, right? Like, would anybody be shocked if we turned around this week and the score was 37-13 or 16? Absolutely not, right? We get 1 touchdown out of Seattle, and that touchdown's late. Meanwhile, they're able to get down the field a little bit. They're getting up some kicks. And that way we're not tied to their offense in case Dallas just does bully whack them. Even in the San Francisco game that, right, we just blew them out in, he was able to get these points up. So we think this is the safest floor bet. And we like how it ties in. Ahaan's going to tie this in kind of neat here. And this gives us a spot. Again, if I'm going after, the one other spot I do like is I like Bobby Wagner here, right? I think Dallas is going to have a ton of offense. I think 9.5 tackles and assists is probably too low for Wagner because my only worry is they're getting blown out so bad that he only plays, 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, I like it. And we all know that Pete Carroll is someone that I've not been a fan of for a while because he will take his field goals early in the game, right? And it's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of Pete Carroll. So we like that. Just 2 field goals and we push 2 field goals and a touchdown extra point and we cash. So that works as well. And on the Cowboys side, I'm going a similar route here. The Cowboys, I talked about how hot they've been recently offensively. It seems that every time they get in the vicinity of the red zone, they hand it off to Rico Dowdle. They hand it off to CeeDee Lamb. They throw a bomb to Brandon Cooks, and whatever they are doing just works. Part of that is Dak Prescott is very good. I think people are still having a difficult time catching up with that, and I don't know why. I mean, the man is good. It is what it is. But also they're facing very soft defenses. The Commanders, just brutal watch last week. But before that, the Giants just handing it off every play. Can't get anything. Can't get a play below 5 yards out of the Cowboys. So that's why Brandon Aubrey has only kicked 2+ field goals in 1 out of his last 4. But I'm taking him in this spot over 1.5 field goals. He's had 2+ attempts and 2+ makes in 7 out of 11 games. And I don't want an announcer's jinx here, but he's missed a few extra points. Field goals, he has not missed one yet this season. He just missed one in the first quarter now that I said that. But I feel like we can get 3 attempts out of him anyway in this spot. And here's why. Vegas, we already know the Vegas primetime unders have been an absolute wagon. And the way you get unders out of these games is you kick some field goals, right? And you see field goals have been a wagon in primetime all season long when they give it to us on the pick 'em board. And I'm going to stick with it here. Now, Dallas ranks around middle of the pack in red zone conversion rate this season, which is why Aubrey said this in 7 out of 11. And he hasn't gone 2 straight games going under, most of the season because after Dallas, converts those 7 touchdowns and he kicks 7 extra points, they might have a little bit of a down spot the next game. It makes sense. It's just called regression. Seattle's defense is a little bit weird. They're number 29 in red zone defense. That means they've allowed the 4th highest red zone conversion rate. But I don't think that's going to stay all the rest of the season. They're a better defense than that. They rank number 22 in DVOA, also a little bit surprising given their personnel. They rank number 11 in pass rush win rate, number 8 in run stop win rate, number 14 in dropback EPA per play. And you look at all their top defenders by PFF grade, by player profiler coverage, the cornerbacks by player profiler coverage rating. All of them are healthy in this one. This is one of the most healthy spots for the Seattle defense all season long, actually. So I think the Seattle defense is going to step up in the red zone. They're not going to be this bad all season long. This is a good spot. Even if Dallas wants to score 3 touchdowns, that's fine. They're probably also going to kick 2 field goals. This is starting to get to the minus 135 area on the sports books. So before Brandon Aubrey gets taken off, because I think by tomorrow morning he'll be off the board, let's lock it in. Our 2-pick, Brandon Aubrey higher than 1.5 field goals made, and Jason Myers higher than 6 kicking points.
Yeah, hopefully we get lucky and it's not an awful primetime game. But, that's, again, is anybody going to be surprised if it's 50-10? No. But again, Seattle's playing for the playoffs. This is a playoff game. It might as well be for Seattle in the NFC. This spot really, really matters. So I like him, to try to push the ball. And as you said, Pete is frustrating to own people like DK and Lockett and such, because he will just, all right, we're kicking the field goal. He's not going to push the ball.
Absolutely. And shout out Anthony,
Thanks, Anthony
in the chat as well. Thanks to you for being here. If you want more info about betting on the sports books, if you want to bet on this game or you want to bet, mostly for the Sunday slate, you should go Friday nights, right after our show at night. You can head over to the Player Profiler Network and listen to The Juice by Memphis Young. It is a betting show. But if you want to stick with Player Pick'ems and play on Underdog, you can tail our picks using promo code Underworld upon entry. Just head on over to the Underdog Pick'em lobby and tail our picks that way. We're going to have picks on the Underdog pick generator up, by Friday morning, before our show, so that you can get early leans on the Sunday/Monday slate. We went 12-3 last week. We've set the bar high for ourselves, trying to repeat that, but we're nearing 60% on the season. And as always, we're gonna be hanging around in the Discord. We give out some pre-prime time entries for the slate outside of what we've given out on the show. So we'll sprinkle on maybe a 5-pick. I'll probably steal that Bobby Wagner from Trevor to build my 5-pick, my game script for this week. And sounds like we need some kicks in this one.
Yeah, I like it. I like the double kicker. It's apropos for us.
Yeah,
so
we've done the tight end 2 pieces. We've done the wide receiver 2 pieces. We've done the game stacks. It's time for a little legwork.
And Ahaan is the kicker whisperer, so I like it here.
Give us a few field goals on Thursday Night Football and give us 2 winners. For now, we'll see you on Friday for the bonus show for the rest of the Week 13 slate.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in. It's important to me that all of our media be free. This is only possible because of you allowing a true independent sports media enterprise to thrive unlike any other in the business. So please subscribe to the All In Package to continue to make all of this possible, to ensure that all of our stats, information, data, content is available to you, especially you, the people that get the site and get the show.